So here we are in Esperance, where it's our last day in Esperance. You can see another grain storage facility site here, where they store grain and canola, anything farming related. And you can see the big ship there, where they export it to whatever country they're going to take it to. Big storage sheds there. You can see all the conveyor system inside those little square runners that you can see going to each shed. You can also see the train. There's a train line there that goes in. There'll be a big pit there. There's other pits. There's several pits that the road trucks and rail trucks can tip into, depending on whether they're putting it on the ship or storing it in one of those silos or storing it in one of those sheds, as to where they tip it off. But that train will go around there, tip it off, and it'll go straight underground, a conveyor system, puts it straight up that conveyor and loads that ship. This ship only come in this morning. It was out in the bay yesterday. There was another one here, probably for 3 or 4 days. It took off this morning. You can see that container crane there slowly creeping along. Oh, hang on. I can still, now that container truck's moved, I can see that other ship is still there. You can see it along the front there. You can't see the tail end of it because of the silos. But yeah, the road trucks and farmers and truckies all bring their grain and products in here. This is where it's stored until they want to fill the ships up and send it to another country that needs it more than us, if we've got too much of it. Sometimes they do a wood chipping process. I don't think they do that here. I know they do it at some silo storage facilities. It's big in Geelong, where the farmers will bring the wood chips in out of the pine plantations out in the country. They'll turn it into wood chips. They'll store it in these big sheds, and then they'll load the ships with it. It gets sent to Japan, and not a big percentage of it gets made into paper. And then, believe it or not, we buy it back as paper. It just gets sent all over the world. You can see that jetty there in the distance. That's the one I was on in the last film. Right over the back there, that little jetty. And we had coffee at the end of the jetty. You can see a fuel storage tanks over the back there. There's a lot of trucks that come through here. They just move the fuel. They also export fuel off this area. You can see the size of the shed down there. And over here, the silos here would have been how it started out. And then they've added more sheds later on because of the demand for this, for the farming products. So yeah, it employs a hell of a lot of people, and this town would not exist without this process. Towns don't survive without this massive sort of process. You know, a lot of towns are either driven by farmers, grain, or gold. It's what started them, and it's what finishes them. So, you know, the grain farming process encircles the world. It is what it is. And mining. So, talking about mining, when they change the face of the foreshore here like they've done, you can see that the end of that foreshore down there is all man-made. Out the end there, it's all man-made. When they do that, it changes the cycle of the tides. And this, hence the reason why they have put the big rock wall right around the waterfront over there, goes right around the beach, because when they change the layout or the format of the ground, it changes the way the tide wants to work, the circle of the water, and it just washes away a bizarre